Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Beijing. This is the classification round group in, and it is Angola taking on Iran here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Well, these teams have had their struggles. They've been in some close games, but perhaps nobody has been the nearly men like Iran in all three of their games. And losing all three to Puerto Rico, 83-81, to Tunisia, 79-67, and to Spain, 73-65. That Spain game was extremely close into the final minutes. They were actually leading, and they lost that one. So they come here today to take on an Angola team that has won one of its three games. They followed up heavy defeats to Serbia and Italy with a narrow win over the Philippines, and Angola and Iran, nevertheless, firmly in the hunt for Olympic qualifying places, and that is what is at the front of their thoughts right now. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Josh Davis, and, well, not everybody can advance to the second round, and these teams have not, but they have plenty to play for. They're trying to get to the Tokyo Games.
Yeah, and that's what's great about this tournament. Even if you don't qualify for the second round, you still have a lot to play for. You don't just get on a plane and head back home and call it, a vacation time ahead of the basketball season. These teams want to go to Tokyo, and obviously Angola has a chance to represent Africa, and Iran has a chance to represent Asia as initially pretty much the best team to finish in the World Cup from their continent. No Asian team advanced to the second round, and no African team advanced to the second round. Therefore, this is actually going to be a very exciting game, probably a very competitive game. Angola squeezed a three-point overtime victory over the Philippines. Iran, as you mentioned, played so well against Spain, just couldn't really squeeze it out at the end. They played so well against Puerto Rico and lost at the buzzer to them. So, we know that they can play, and I'm actually excited to be here.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. I know you're excited to be here with me. You love it. You love every minute. I can't get away from you, Josh. But seriously, after you lose your third consecutive game, certainly in Iran's case, having pushed Spain so close, the temptation might be there to say, you know what, to heck with it. I just want to get out of here. But the new system of competition really is good in this way. I mean, it means that these classification games do have meaning. Oftentimes in the past they have not, but every win is priceless in this World Cup, as everybody knows, having been following all of these teams. So it's Angola, Iran, and then we'll follow up another African team, Tunisia, taking on another Asian team, Philippines, in the nightcap. So all four of these teams that we'll be watching today will be thinking about trying to get to the Olympics as the direct qualifier from Africa. So it is Group N, and here are the standings because they carry over wins from the previous round. Tunisia and Angola obviously with one win each, so they start kind of with a head start on this group, but also in terms of facing many of the other African and Asian teams. We can talk more about that in just a second, but we're going to have a pause in the commentary for the playing of the national anthems for both Iran and Angola.
So, Angola 国歌 please remain standing for the national anthem of Angola.
Will Voigt on the right, the coach of Angola, goes to shake the hands of Coach Shahintab from Iran. Mehran Shahintab. And we will go through the rosters and the starting fives, but only after we introduce you to these three men. Scott Becker on the left from Down Under, Australia. Yener Yilmaz in the center from Turkey, and Nicholas Fernandez from Tahiti. I think he referees in Australia as well. So, Josh, we thoroughly enjoy this next segment where we appreciate the production, how it has been utterly sensational. Everybody's remarked on how good this World Cup looks, and it obviously the product of the court is good, but it needs to look good, and the people have put a lot of hard work into this thing, and you can see from these starting fives.
Well, first of all, in the backcourt, you got Benam Yakshili, who is a phenomenal shooter. He's going to be joined by Mohamed Jamshidi. They form a very decent backcourt, so keep your eyes open. Mohamed Hassanzadeh is also a good frontline player, and then don't forget about Kabarami. Alongside him, we're not going to see Hamed Haddadi in the starting five, but he is our featured player.
I think we are. I think we had a mix-up, so apologies for that. We had a lot of wrong photos in those names. Samad as well. There's Hamed Haddadi, though, averaging 15 points per game. 14 rebounds, also 6 assists. He has been a dominant force. Playing a little bit more from the outside. We've seen him knock down a couple of three-pointers for Iran. The big man, 7'2", 2'18", will be looked at to dominate, and this is a team that both have inside and out. Meanwhile, Angola, again, they did have one victory over the Philippines, 84-81. Very experienced lineup, average age over 31. We've got some issues, so apologies, folks. These are Iranian players, but I'll just go ahead and say Carlos Moraes, Jacques Conceição, Jose Antonio, Yannick Morea, and Valdelicio Joaquim.
So Angola will be led by this man right here. You might recognize him for his days for Virtus Bologna in the Basketball Champions League, a champion for the Basketball Champions League this year. Yannick Moreira, 11.7 points and 9 rebounds a game. Stands 6'9", 2'5", shooting very well from the field, over 50%. Also playing heavy minutes, and they'll be relying on him to contribute inside. Not sure if he'll be matched up with Haddadi. Obviously, there is a size difference there, but let's listen in on the Angolan coach.
Aqui, espera, bloqueo aqui, right? Bring it back. You don't have to throw it to them if they're in the denial, Giannis, okay? You can't throw it.
That's Will Voigt.
Swing back.
Formerly the coach of Nigeria. Obviously well known for having led Nigeria to the FIBA AfroBasket title in 2015 in Tunisia and to the Olympics in 2016. And Coach Shahintab did a great job during the Asian qualifiers to get Iran here, because it looked for a while like they wouldn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, they went 8-4 in those World Cup qualifiers in Asia. So far, 0-3, as you mentioned. This is the third World Cup appearance for Iran. They're now 2-11 after starting 0-3 in this one. Meanwhile, for Angola, the 8th appearance in the FIBA World Cup, which is actually the most for an African country. They also have the most wins of any African country in the World Cup. 15 of the 31 total wins from the African continent have come courtesy of Angola. So it's a country with a rich basketball tradition. Jeff, you and I were talking about earlier how they played against a dream team in their first game in 1992, so they were on the global stage then, and they're on the global stage now as we get ready for this classification matchup. So Iran will have the height advantage at most positions here. Of course, Hamed Haddadi, no one even close to him in size from Angola. Average height just 6'5", 1.96 for the Angolans.
So again, it's Samad number 14, Hamed 15, Hassanzadeh for Iran. Will Go through these starting fives again. Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Beijing. This is the FIBA Basketball World Cup, and it's the group-in game between Angola and Iran, and Iran winning the opening tip and wearing the red and attacking the basket to the right. And driving baseline and scoring for Iran is Mohamed Hassanzadeh.
Yeah, nice, strong baseline drive. We saw the big man Haddadi trying to get a post touch. Defense focusing on him, and now we're seeing a 2-3 zone from Iran as Moreira collects the offensive rebound.
Joaquim missed. Now he's got it again. Gets in the paint, hands it off to Moreira. Turns, puts it up, and scores!
I like the little shimmy there on the post move. And this man has game, definitely. He's done that at the highest level in Europe and Italy.
Really had a huge introduction in terms of international basketball at the last World Cup in Spain. In Gran Canaria. Samad misses, and now a push called on Ahmed Haddadi. So the legendary Italian. I don't use the word legend lightly, but look, he was called for a foul there.
He's a big man.
Yep.
Sometimes, you know, having the size advantage can go against you.
He and Samad are two of the all-time greats for Iran. And here he is getting a rebound. And passing it off to Yakchali.
We saw there Contessao unable to finish, but a beautiful pass inside.
Hassanzadeh off to a fast start.
We talked about Haddadi's averaging 6 assists a game. So much of the offense going through him, low post and high post. Great decision maker.
Moraes and Hassanzadeh with the rebound. Hassanzadeh, very active, played a lot during the Asian qualifiers as well. Benim Yakchali, of course, this Iran team, national team, played in the final of the Asia Cup in 2017 and finished runners-up to Australia, but they gave as good as they got for probably a half of that game. There's Moraes back outside to Moreira. And another miss for Angola. That was Jose Antonio, number 10. Yakchali gets down low, now turns it off to Conceição, and he's going to have a wide open layup.
Seemed like the fans were waiting for a little Showtime highlight there, but went with the safe, easy 2. And Conceição on the board with his first 2. Another steal.
Defense, yep, by Joaquim. Badilicio, Joaquim knocking it out of the hands of Hamed. Antonio fouled while attempting a 3 by Samad. Samad getting the hand up and just that little bit of contact. You have to let him come down, don't you?
Right. You got to give them space to land. You see here the easy lay-in by Conceição. And just referees trying to protect the players, the shooters. Obviously, the volume of three-pointers has gone up in recent years, and subsequently so have the fouls on threes, as Antonio knocks down the first of 3 free throws.
So the 36-year-old Samad commits the foul, and Antonio misses the second. Angola used to be the real powerhouse, undisputed of African basketball, and you just saw Will Voigt there, who did such a magnificent job at the helm of Nigeria. And Angola hoping that he can help bring the good times back for them. Very good league in Angola. All these players compete there. For the majority. Samad into the corner to Jamshidi. Here's Yakchali. puts on the deck, gets it over to Jamshidi Jafarabadi. Now back to Yakchale for 3.
That's what he does, average almost 15 points per game in the World Cup qualifiers. Bonafide scorers, played so well in this tournament as well, averaging almost 14 points per game in the first 3.
Moraes spins on the baseline, and Hamed gets it over to Jamshidi Jafarabadi. Now Samad gets in and does not score, and Hamed, as he crashes the boards, is fouled by Joaquim. You know, Hamed played in the NBA for a while.
He
Memphis. He was teammates with, and also Phoenix, right? He was with teammates with Marc Gasol, and they squared off the other night, had a long embrace before and after the game.
Yeah, I mean, he played 5 years for the Grizzlies.
Didn't get that many minutes, but nevertheless was, I mean, anybody that's watched Hamed play knows how great he is. Look at that. Catches it down low, and 2 shots coming. And I remember in 2008, that fouls on Joaquim again. See how he's fronting him. So 2007, Hamed and Samad were like 2 of the linchpins in that Iranian team that won the Asia Cup. And they qualified for the Olympics. And I remember those guys when they came here. Samad spoke some English, but Hamed spoke no English. Right. And then, obviously, 5 years, he's going to learn it. Boy, he sounded like an American when I spoke to him in Lebanon at the Asia Cup 2 years ago.
And again, back then, this team was just happy to qualify for things like the World Cup. This is now their 3rd consecutive World Cup. They came into the tournament, obviously heavier expectations. You know, it wasn't just good enough to be here. They wanted to qualify to the 2nd round. That hasn't happened, but at least an Olympic berth on the line here. So all the reason to play all that intensity.
And really, when you look back at their games, there's no reason. I mean, there is a reason, but they could very easily be 3-0. I mean, that's how close their games were. And, well, you know what? You got to play 40 minutes, and you can't make mistakes. Offensive foul on Morea. Yannick Morea tangled up there. He started last season with PAOK in Greece and then moved to Virtus Bologna and helped them win the Basketball Champions League. Yannick Morea. There's a foul. Played for, when he played at Southern Methodist University, SMU, he played for the great Larry Brown,
yeah.
Former USA coach.
See now,
Amongst many coaches.
We've seen a lot of entangled arms here so far in the first quarter. And that's something Iran does. They play very physical. You might see a lot of fouls called here tonight.
Samad for 3.
36 years of age, still putting up points. Shooting about 36% from 3 in the tournament so far. Clean looking shot there.
Carlos Moraes, kind of viewed as Angola's top player, really, the past several years.
Yeah, comes in as their leading scorer in the tournament, 12 points per game.
Here he is coming up with a steal, and the former AfroBasket MVP races in, lays it up, and scores.
What a huge momentum shift to get back to a tie game. All 5 points coming from Moraes. Angola's defense starting to pick up. Good box out.
Moraes has it. Conceição. Yannick Morea. And going up, trying to get the foul called again, Antonio.
Yeah, he stuck his leg out that time with the kick.
Samad, same spot. Different result, but Hassanzadeh there for the putback. No, he misses an easy one.
Yeah, he rushed that Layup, Jeff.
Yannick Morea. Oh! SWAT City, but they call goal interference.
Haddadi doesn't believe in the goaltending. Yeah, we've seen calls, or we've seen that block not been called goaltending. But let's take another look here as we rewind it just for you.
So the rule is if it's on the way down,
yeah,
you gotta let it go.
That looked around the midway point.
Yeah, to me it looked like it was at his peak.
Right.
But again,
but it's also good for Haddadi to make his presence felt. You know, he comes in averaging a block per game. Moreira gets the 2 and gives Angola the lead here in the first.
Yakchali. Excuse me, that was Mo Jamshidi. Jamshidi and Yakchali both have those beards now. Both dark hair.
There's a lot of beards on the court right now.
Similar height. Yeah, it is a bearded Iranian team right now.
And Jamshidi, if you recall, had that 33.5 assist game against Japan. Also 25 and 4 against Australia.
Then Paulo drives in and is fouled, so he will go to the line. Paulo's had some, he's been in the highlights, hasn't he? Sometimes for the good reason and sometimes for the not so good reason.
Well, the highlight there is that he's picked up the second foul on Haddadi, which will probably send him to the bench, and you can see why that was called the goaltending.
Yeah.
So Haddadi, tough start so far, just a couple of points, but now has 2 fouls as well. Sorry, just 1 point for Haddadi. Yeah, you mentioned Leonel Paulo, that 360 highlight, one of the top 5 plays of the day just a couple nights ago.
Yeah, that was sensational. But then he had a headbutt with Alessandro Gentili.
You know, basketball can get a little competitive and aggressive at times.
Haddadi's going to come out. And coming in for him is Garamapour, Aaron Garamapour, 26-year-old. Been playing about almost 18 minutes per game at this World Cup.
Almost in double figures in those games as well. 9.7 points, so productive minutes from Garamapour. And what a luxury to send a 7'2", 2'18" guy to the bench and bring another 7-footer right off the bench. Plenty of size in Iran.
Paulo misses, but
oh, that's just
Iran in the lane too early. I'm not sure who it was.
There was no one by his side. That is what we call a not a blooper, but a
brain.
Yeah, yeah.
Lapse.
You know what
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Brain lapse.
There are other things you can call it. He makes the second attempt. Reggie Moore in. So also coming into the game now for Morea is number 16, Bunga, for Angola. Now they're picking him up full court. Samad brings it across. Garamapour hands it off to Yakchali. Hassanzadeh has been very active.
Oh,
was that a pass to himself?
Absolutely. Wow, a page out of the Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, LeBron James book there.
A little bit of showtime.
The Hassanzadeh alley. That was one of those, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, great job.
Moore, soft touch. Garamapour with the rebound. Well, they've got some big fellas in Iran, don't they? And Garamapour is one of them. Clearly has a bright future with this national team. Look at that. A little bit long. Here's Leonel Paulo.
I'm not sure you want him handling the ball that much, that far from the basket.
Bunga, meanwhile, a little bit long, and Angola not getting the looks you would think that they are trying to get.
But they're going to bring Moraes back off the bench. Just that reason. Nice pass.
Garamapour.
Oh, the ball movement.
Yakchale back to Jamshidi. I think there was a hand on that. And look who got the rebound. Hassanzadeh will go to the line to attempt a couple of free throws.
Yeah, we saw a good contest on the three-pointer to prevent Yakchale from knocking down the three. As he'll step out, you see Reggie Moore there getting a piece of it. And right place at the right time, Hassanzadeh. Chance now to get points 7 and 8. Already has 4 rebounds as well.
Mashayeki, meanwhile, who started for Iran at point guard at the Asia Cup in 2017, has just checked into the game.
The scouting report on Hassanzadeh, not a flashy player by any sort, but he's one of the glue guys for this roster. And the role can kind of vary. He's got that stretch 4 role. Play inside and out. Also can switch on defense onto big men, but also guard perimeter players. So good extra pass.
Paolo from the left corner, much better than his free throws. And Angola on top.
First three-pointer of the tournament for Paolo.
Benem Yakchale, closely guarded by Quincy Sao. Now the handoff, and Garamapur lays it up and in.
And silly foul, but they had one to give, so maybe not so silly after all.
Remember, these teams cannot go to the quarterfinals. This is the classification round, Group N. They will also have one more game after this. And as you look at the block, the reach, the main aim is to finish as the highest seeded country from their zone. For Iran, it's Asia. For Angola, it's Africa in this World Cup, which would qualify them for the Olympics. And quick hands, they knock it into the backcourt. Reggie Moore goes back and he'll turn it in. So Will Voigt and Angola actually competing against his former team, Nigeria, for that direct qualifying spot from Africa. Nigeria, like Angola, won a game. So they, I think probably Nigeria have a better shot at doing it, but you know, let's see what happens. Here's the pass into the corner. Reggie Moore. Now 16 seconds remain. Mashayeki crosses midcourt. Yakchale gets a little space. Back to Mashayeki. The lefty is, oh, he was fouled by Conceição.
We'll take a look at that on the replay. 0.5 seconds left. You see the contest got the ball first. And usually that gives you the chance to, you see him hit the right hand, which doesn't really affect the shot as much.
Now, Garamapur and Conceição are having words. Don't know what that's about. It's been a bit testy here at the beginning.
It really has. Again, these teams don't understand what's at stake.
Yep.
And
you're not going to back into the Olympics.
Meanwhile, Mashayeki, 40% free throw shooter, knocks that one down confidently.
This is the second. Ahmed, kind of a slow start today, so he's just taking in the view from the bench right now. And the third is good. Now the long heave. So at the end of one quarter, courtesy of the two Mashayeki free throws, it's Iran on top of Angola 19-17 in this classification Group N game.
So you see the stats so far. Iran struggling from the free throw line. Both teams even from the three-point range, 2 of 6. Obviously the score has been pretty close throughout. And It's been the rebounding advantage for Iran. 11-7 has had a hand in giving them this 2-point lead. As you check out some of the highlights of this first quarter. Neither team able to create too much separation. Iran enjoying a 5-point lead for just a moment. Meanwhile, Angola did lead by 2.
So, Josh, just real quickly, so we're talking about the idea about the importance of this game with Angola and Iran.
Yeah, that was the play of the first quarter,
yeah, look
no
at this.
question. You see the touch. Knew 100% of the time what he was going to do. Sorry, go ahead.
If these teams do not take the direct qualifying spot, which they must finish as the highest seeded team from their region, so Iran must be the highest finisher in this tournament from Asia. Angola must be the highest finisher from Africa to get the direct spot. But if they don't do that, there's also the possibility of going to one of the 4 FIBA Olympic qualifying tournaments. So the next 16 teams in this tournament, how they finish, those that don't qualify, they will also go to Olympic qualifying tournaments.
And I'm sure you can read all about that on the official app. Look at the competition system to understand, again, how this all plays out. You can also get up-to-the-minute stats, all the highlights, great articles from our FIBA writers. Make sure you download that onto your smartphones if you haven't already. But yeah, you were mentioning basically the best they can finish is like 17th, right? And if you finish 17th, then, well, if you're from Africa or Asia, you're going to the Olympics.
Yeah, so you need to be thinking of a top 23 finish. But even then, there will be 2 bids extended to each region after, so the highest ranked teams in the FIBA ranking. So you get points for wins, and you get decent points for World Cup wins. So anyway, that's what everybody's looking for right now. Try to win as many games as possible in view of trying to get to the Olympics. Joaquim scores down low and ties it back up.
First points of the night for Joaquim.
It's Mashayeki, Yakchali, Zangene, Samad, number 14, and Gramapur on the court right now for Iran. Here's Samad outside to Mashayeki. One pass too many, so the shot for Zangene does not count.
And I tell you what, that was all thanks to the on-ball pressure defensively from Lionel Paulo, forcing Samad to just dribble for a little bit too long, and then the kick didn't have enough time for Iran to get a good shot off.
Rice bumped by Mashayeki. And Mashayeki looking at the ref and saying, watch the elbow here from Moraes.
Strong moves there by Moraes. Moraes, who plays pro in Portugal for Benfica.
Mashayeki this time takes the charge.
Those two going at it, back-to-back possessions. You mentioned the experience of this Angolan team. Moraes, part of the team that won 4 straight gold to the Afro Baskets in 2005, 2013. Or 4 or 5 golds, I should say.
Gramapur doesn't control the ball well there. Shot clock violation, second time in this quarter.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare start here to the second quarter for Iran, but you have to compliment Angola's defensive pressure. You see the double team coming here. Multiple guys getting the hand on the rock. And Joaquim refusing to let it go, much to the delight of Coach Voigt. This is an Angolan team who struggled defensively the first 3 games, giving up 105, 92, and 81. So they have to be impressed with just the effort here in this first half.
That was a look of satisfaction, wasn't it? Coach Boyce gave us there. Sal's going to launch it as the shot clock winds down. And now the quick pass. Zengene and Jamshidi Jafferbadi couldn't quite time his jump there. Paolo gets in and a block, and bodies are down. Really feels like these teams have a history. Watching them play, look at this.
Ooh. Zengene goes down hard. Meanwhile, the foul called on Samad Kabarami first. And Lionel has been pretty impactful so far in this game. 4 points in 6 minutes. Just very active though. As he just takes his time while we wipe the floor. Make sure that it's not too dangerous underneath the basket. All those bodies crashing. Both teams shooting in the 40s right now, percentage-wise. Angola at 41%, Iran 44, which is a good sign for Angola. They came in just shooting 38% from the field offensively.
Who do you think he's supporting? I think that was Iran. That was his team. It's interesting. I mean, both of these teams are on the fringe. They're usually right in the running. Morea
doing it all.
He doesn't want to quit his day job. That's for sure. I think it'd be better to be a basketball player, but you know what? Sometimes you got to get your hands dirty. Get down, do a little bit of drying of the hardwood. Protecting his own future by doing that.
Essentially. Very bright future as well. Spider Cam bringing you right onto the court.
Paolo's really struggling with his free throws.
It's strange. He came in shooting 80% from the line.
All of a sudden, there's an issue there for him, but he hit that three from the corner. Much better. I've seen a few air balls at this World Cup. Boy, free throw shooting has certainly been a talking point. And
great block.
Jamshidi gets rejected.
Once again, Lionel there to help. Here he is. Taking his time.
Joaquim.
Not the most fluid offensive possession for Angola. Quite static.
They definitely hit some dry spells during the African qualifiers.
Good denial defense. Again, shot clock. Yep.
And great defense by Angola. Well, foundation for success is having a good defense, I think. And here's Moraes. Ahmed Haddadi quickly to Mashieki now on the break.
Great
and
block.
A charge called on Mashieki. Conceição was definitely set.
Yeah, a bit of a delay there with the whistle, but with anticipation defensively, you see him, he was set for about half a second. Seems like Mashayeki's been involved in a lot of collisions so far. And you can see how frustrated he is. Iran still scoreless. We played almost 4 minutes here in the second.
Moraes. Now in the game for Iran is Hosseinzadeh, Hamed Hosseinzadeh, number 6. He's got the ball now. He's come in for Mashayeki. Hosseinzadeh is going to launch it.
What a way to come off the bench. Extremely confident. Here's Morera, semi-transition. Looking for the pick and roll action with Antonio. Good hands.
How about that play? Zanganeh.
Foul call on Antonio. Unable to slide his feet.
Interesting. Angola will certainly be interested to know that Nigeria are having a real struggle right now against Cote d'Ivoire, team that we watched. That game is knotted at 35, so they'll be pulling for Cote d'Ivoire, I would imagine. Here's the spin move, and the travel called on Hamed.
Really tough start continuing here for Haddadi. You see on the catch. Moves both feet before putting the ball down. Yeah, you talked about the Nigeria having the inside track in some ways, thanks to that 42-point victory over Korea the other night. But the Nigeria-China game is going to be one to watch for sure.
That will be, as will this current one against Cote d'Ivoire, the old African, I guess you'd call that an African derby. Moraes, shot clock winding down, gives it to Moreira. He's not aware, is he? He is in the end. And Gramapur boxes out Joaquim.
Both teams really struggling to score. Only 3 combined points the first 5 minutes of the second.
And the ball goes off the hands of Jamshidi. Jafrabadi, Moraes, he goes to the other end. And for whatever reason, with Hamed involved, things are not working. Looked like that was a good pass, but the catch wasn't made, and it triggered a fast break for Moraes.
Moraes, very strong start. He's got 7 points now. Obviously, that steal and the push. And those fast break points will be key in this kind of defensive struggle when neither team able to get off into a certain rhythm. Let's listen in on Coach Shahitab from Iran.
Well, Moraes, watch this. He takes advantage. Ball knocked away. Jose Antonio has it. He gets it to Moraes, and he just goes straight in, blows past the Iranian Yakchali.
It's interesting because transition defense was actually a point that I had highlighted as a weakness for Iran. You can see why there. Moraes going right by Yakchali. Here you see the pressure defensively by Gerson Gonçalves. Now Iran with the 2 twin towers on the floor at the same time.
Hosseinzadeh misses, but Gramapur gets on the deck and then throws it out to Samad. Hosseinzadeh, a little pump fake again. Hands it off to Hamed. Oh, he goes up, no! And traveling. Of course, has piles on the agony.
Unbelievable. Haddadi just can't catch a break. You see the ball ends up in his hands off the beautiful pass.
Yeah,
he didn't really have control, though. That's a tough call because he didn't really have the ball in his hands when he was shuffling his feet. So it's a few turnovers now for Haddadi. 5 in total already in this first half. 5 turnovers. from the star player for Iran.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare.
Again, the 2-3 zone here for
Things
Iranians.
just snowball, don't they? Joaquim. Sometimes they just snowball.
You see the drought there, over 6 minutes without a point.
Samad.
Third foul on Haddadi.
Wow. I'll tell you what, it goes from bad to worse for Hamid. Pushing off.
Iran looking around, understanding that they need to pick it up here before going to the break. At least their defense has been solid. They've only limited Angola to 5 points. Take another look at the foul, a little push in the back. Not too violent, but a foul nonetheless.
Rostampour's come in. He was playing significant minutes the other night against Spain, playing well. Antonio denied. Morea gets it.
Shot clock did not reset.
Excuse me, that's Antonio, number 10. Here's Moraes. Back to Antonio. Did he get it off in time? Doesn't matter. Gershon Gonçalves in the game. Here it is. Garamopour.
Finally. And it's going to lead to a timeout for Angola. It only took about 7 minutes. See the nice two-man game action as Garamopour avoids the contact. Finishes around Moreira. 22-21 going to the timeout. Let's listen in to Coach Voigt. So Coach Voigt drawing up the exact kind of action he wants. You take a look at the physicality we've had so far in this first half. A lot of bodies gone flying. Fouls have been called. Both teams playing aggressive. Might have been a little bit of a, I don't want to say a punch, but Joaquim looking as innocent as possible. And the shooting has gone down. 8 of 25 for Angola, 32%, 8 of 21 for Iran, 38%. Not much better.
Definitely a low-scoring game right now. Driving in, Gonçalves. He recently checked into the game.
Oh, wow. Another.
And they're going to count it from Samad.
They might review this. It's the third foul on Antonio as he kind of crashed through the screen here. That was a foul. But then
they're not going to count that because they're going to go surely and look and see that he took his shot well after the contact.
I mean, the referee blew his whistle.
He wasn't in the motion, was he?
So at the moment, the 3 points are on the board. And they also had the ball. They took the points off. They waved it off.
So, yeah, so just 24 apiece.
Oh, no, they did count it.
Yeah, because they were down. So they maintain possession. And Garamopour, so it's a 5-point swing, but I tend to think maybe it shouldn't have counted, but maybe they're ruling that he was already in the motion. He certainly hadn't left his feet.
Yeah, the referee blew his whistle a little bit late as well, which helped out Iran in that case. Nice drive.
Well, Gershon Gonçalves is providing some offense here.
Yeah, hasn't been much of a score in the first few games. Comes in just 8 points total, just 4 here in the last 2 possessions.
Beautiful bounce pass. Oh, just one pass too many by Karamapur. Gonçalves had some good games in the African qualifiers. Now Maria. Moore, open, got it, the 3.
And you can see why that was going to go down. The ball went side to side, then the penetration, the kick, and the extra pass to the open Moore. And the former Oral Roberts star knocks down his first basket.
Oral Roberts University.
Not sure how your Farsi is, Jeff. Can you understand what the coach is saying?
No. Trying to read the faces.
Well, the offense has picked up here in the last few minutes, thankfully, as Angola able to push the lead out to 3. Angola benefiting from 11 points off turnovers to just 3 for Iran. Also 6 fast break points for the African squad, thanks to their 6 steals. So able to turn defense into offense.
So Yakchali has it with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Jamshidi, Karamapur goes up. Well, you know what? If he'd gone up, he would have been fouled. So it was quite clever to stay down, but Iran asking why a foul wasn't called. Watch this.
Yeah, he went over, up and over. Great patience from Karamapur. Probably should have been a foul. Herrera can't answer.
Iran doing well coming out of the timeout. Well, Karamapur has been the center that's been delivering for Iran today.
8 points on 4 rebounds. Haddadi yet to knock down a field goal, obviously. Extra pass.
Yakchali. Angola with one last chance. Gonçalves crosses midcourt. Conceição back to Gonçalves in the right corner.
Oh, it took too long.
He needed to shoot it and take the hit if that was the case.
Yeah, probably would have been able to draw a foul there on the all-out contest.
29-28, Angola on top of Iran at halftime.
So the shooting has picked up in the kind of the second half of the second quarter. Overall, the teams, Angola at 38%, Iran now at 44%. Saw the three-point shooting as well. Rebounding-wise, Iran +7, so the size a huge factor, but that doesn't matter when you have 8 more turnovers than the opposition. Angola doing a great job taking care of the ball. So Iran will look to talk about that during the halftime break. Leading scorers, Moraes, 7 points for Angola, 8 for Karamapur off the bench for Iran. Hassanzadeh obviously had that brilliant first quarter. Didn't see him do as much in the second.
And it's interesting, Josh, as we go to the break, Nigeria in a real dogfight with Cote d'Ivoire, so Angola keeping an eye on that, because those two teams competing also for that direct qualifying spot for the Olympics. And Iran have that same thought in the back of their minds with all the other Asian teams. So we're at halftime, and it's Angola leading at 29-28. We'll be right back.
French firecracker with another dunk. Pass. Great pass. Pass towards Tice, didn't come off, turned back over, and then back to Germany again. Zipser to Tice, throwing one high. Oh my word, how about the finish from Maxi Weber. Finally, some German joy in the World Cup.
Oh! Ruri Hachimura! He just ripped through the ozone layer and pounded it home on Miles Turner.
Here comes Greece. Galakis gets it.
Are you kidding me? Brown on the runway. Oh! How about Jaylen Brown packing it?
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
29-28, Angola on top of Iran here in Group N, the classification round. The Iranians and Angolans have had a tough World Cup, obviously not making it to the second round, but right now trying to get as many wins as possible to get to next year's Tokyo Olympics, each with designs on claiming the one direct qualifying spot from their respective regions. And there's plenty of competition for that. Iran, because they lost all three of their games, are thinking realistically, well, they pretty much know they're going to have to go out and win a couple of games. And hopefully, in their case, beat off the competition, which right now is being led by China, who did get a win against Cote d'Ivoire on opening night here in Beijing. For Angola, they got a win against the Philippines, so they came into this classification round level with Nigeria, each with a win from Africa. Carlos Moraes, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, leading the way for Angola. Carlos Moraes, a mainstay in this Angola national team.
Yeah, Angola only a 1-point lead at the half, but does seem to have a little bit more of the momentum, I would say, after that first half performance. You know, able to force 11 turnovers, able to take care of the ball, limiting themselves to just 3 turnovers. They do need to buckle up a little bit more on the rebounding side of things. And obviously they've done a great job slowing down, or really controlling Hamed Haddadi. He's had a couple tough plays go his way, a couple breaks that didn't go his way. And now also has 3 fouls going into the second half.
And this has been a real pleasant surprise in a way, looking at it from the outside, from my perspective. The play of Aaron Gramapor, we knew he'd been playing a lot. But he has been their, shall we say, point scorer in the low post today, with Hamed Haddadi not able to get it going yet. So Gramapour, you can see his numbers, and you just never know from one game to the next who's going to step up, and he has certainly done it today for Iran.
Yeah, Gramapour, the former Seton Hall Pirate over in New Jersey, NCAA, also played for a mainstay Basketball Champions League team, Obrero Star Tenerife, though that was before the Basketball Champions League got underway.
I should say also that Angola in direct competition with Tunisia, who also won a game against Iran. So for that direct qualifying place. So, you know, 3 African teams got wins. Fascinating.
Yeah, and obviously if Angola can pull this one out, we'll see how Tunisia-Philippines goes, but that could make the Angola-Tunisia game the battle for Africa, depending on how Nigeria does as well.
Otherwise, pass the key, Yannick, post the key. He's not going to do anything, right? He doesn't want to get 4 fouls. He's just going to let you finish it, all right? So we go high-low out of queso. Okay, got it? Pressão, energia, depois do resolve.
So you heard Coach Voigt. Part of the game plan is to get that 4th personal foul on Haddadi, or at least go at him and force him to play conservative defense and remain aggressive. So we'll see if they're able to execute that. We're going to have a phenomenal 20 minutes of basketball, I am sure, the rest of the way, as both of these teams desperately want to get a win here today.
So it's going to be Samad, Yakchali, Hamed, Rostanpour, and Jamshidi Jafarabadi, who are starting here for Iran. Jamshidi also has had a quiet day today. I guess in some ways you have to pay tribute to the Angolan defense.
Yeah, able to
just says, okay, enough of this, I'm going to take over. Joaquim, Conceição, Moraes, and Jose Antonio for Angola here to start the second half.
Yeah, great start there for Iran, getting the ball to Haddadi. Other end, just as the coach wanted, Joaquim doesn't finish his first attempt. But you mentioned the backcourt, Jamshidi and Yakshali combining for 5 points in that first half. They came in averaging almost over 20 points combined.
Shot clock winding down. Yakchali back to Hamed. He puts it up. Now quickly to Moraes. Moraes turns. This is everything.
Shot. Fadeaway jump shot. No ball movement whatsoever in the possession.
Samad.
Real good move.
And Will Voigt, and I have to say I agree. He's calling for a travel on that play. Watch this again. Watch his feet.
He splits the double.
We can't see his feet there. Anyway, referee's got a better position than me.
Herrera picks up his second foul. You saw the jump stop and the kind of fake the ball show made famous by Rajon Rondo once upon a time. Or earlier than that, Kevin McHale.
A great Celtic.
Keep the ball alive.
Iran has come out and taken the lead. Yakchali. Jamshidi. Rostanpour goes up and banks it in. Oh, excuse me, it's not Rostanpour, it's number 12, Zengena. Zengena's not shy, he's been putting them up. He might be a supply of points here. Now Morea and Hamed, good position. Now the pass up to Zengena again, but this time misses. Well, it's a missed opportunity. Conceição hands it off to Joaquim. Now Moraes. Moraes puts it up.
Angola still scoreless here in the third quarter.
Good hands, knocking it away. Angola 3-on-2 break.
Ooh.
What do you call all that?
I see you, Moraes. The ball fake behind the back, froze the defender on the fast break, and then the finish. And again, turnovers lead to the instant offense.
This is lethal. Watch this. Oh,
that is saucy.
Oh, look at that. You got to give Jamshidi an assist.
Just like you drew it up, Haddadi.
Oh, man. Living right.
Bucket.
Well, it couldn't have been a tougher first half for Hamed, so maybe things are going to start going his way here.
See, the scores table still trying to figure out who to give that basket to.
Look at this. It's going to bounce off. I mean, he doesn't catch it cleanly.
Right. Wow. That
actually,
is.
It may have actually been deflected by the Angolan.
He's the closest player to it, so we call it fortuitous bounce. Highlights starting to pick up here in the third quarter. Haddadi now with 2 field goals to go with his 4 rebounds. Again, still has those 3 fouls.
Yeah, I think it's picking up because both these teams know it's go time. It's now or never. That's how they're looking at it. Moraes floats in, tough shot.
You mentioned early in the first half, he's their go-to guy on the perimeter. You saw him dancing top of the key, a couple crossovers, learn the defense to sleep. Then the little floater.
Well played by Jose Antonio, coming up with a steal.
13 turnovers now for Iran.
And Jose Antonio then turns it over, a little bit of a miscommunication. Quickly break, Jamshidi lays it up and in.
It was almost Jam City, but he got a layup instead.
Yep.
He really needs to start going for this team, Jamshidi, who has been such a focal point of the offense through the World Cup qualifiers and this tournament.
And even before that, for several years now. Been quiet today. Jose Antonio answers with a 3.
Right in the eye of Samad. Got to get a hand up.
Yakchalis tries to answer. Now Yannick Moreira.
Not good himself.
Gets in, goes up to the left. And Zangina decides to knock it out of bounds.
And Moreira got the rebound, pushed it all the way to the post up. You can see the frustration on his face. Wants to be aggressive, but just 2 of 7 from the field in this game so far.
Well, Samad's going to go out of the game. And Rasul Mozafari comes into the game, number 1. And Reggie Moore is able to catch that after he slips and falls down. Looks like he might have hurt his ankle in the process.
Got both feet in bounds, Jeff.
There's Sean Gonçalves, gets in, the ball knocked out of his hands and off his legs.
Yeah, you see Moore limping near half court. Meanwhile, the defense, Zingane with the strip. Now the Iranian fans starting to make some noise here at the Wukeshang Sports Center.
They brought the horns, the wind instruments. Here's Rasul. Got to shoot it. He sees the clock right at the end. Reggie Moore comes in, grabs the miss. Moraes looks over at his teammate and says, I've got this. And he does.
Does he ever? Talks a little bit of smack, and the referee is going to have a conversation with him. warns them, literally gives him a warning one more time, and he'll tee him up. But Moraes, what a third quarter so far. Give him 13 points on the night. Angola retakes the lead.
Jose Antonio sits down. He says, I was calling for the ball, and Moraes said, no, I've got this. And he did. This is Moraes' game right now.
The only player in double figures. Look how big Haddadi's hands are.
Oh, Hamid spins, goes up, and draws the foul. He will go to the line for a three-point play.
Great move from the veteran big man. Caught the ball a couple feet off the block.
He puts Moreira in a spin cycle. Look at this. Goes right past him, that footwork.
I think Moreira might have been caught off guard by the quickness of that move. Able to finish through the bodies. Chance for a three-point play. That's what a star player is supposed to do. You have a tough first half. You regroup in the locker room. And now 7 quick points in this quarter for Haddadi.
Ron back in front. Chavez, offensive foul. Is it Moreira?
Did they call it on?
No, it's on Gonçalves.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he did wrong there. We'll take another look. So he drives.
Oh, he hooked him with his right hand.
That is
right arm,
great vision by the referee. We needed a slow-mo to catch that. Ooh.
Now Rostanpour's come into the game, number 20. And look at that, Jamshidi just says, I'm taking off.
Notice a lot of the action happening on that right side of the floor. Iran looking to exploit the Angolan defense.
You are right, though, about Jamshidi. We're going to have a word with him. Tell him we need a few more Jam cities to go with his name. And
great box out.
Yep, Rostanpour. Ah. Also, they just let the ball go out of bounds. Four-point lead now for Iran. Moraes goes out. Zafari, Rasul sloppy with it and has it taken away, and it's going to lead to a dunk from Lionel Paulo. No 360 that time, but they'll take the two.
And you saw again in the first half, we highlighted his active defense on the ball as Reggie Moore will get called for the foul there.
Now, who do you fault for the turnover? I want to know. On Mo Zafari. You can't be as a point guard turning the ball over like that.
See there, Reggie Moore really should have put his foot on that sideline and squared up defensively. But yeah, that turnover, Mo Zafari, giving up the quickness, I would say, to Paulo. And Paulo is a very good athlete, able to slide his feet and went for the steal at the right time. Although Iran should have gotten back a little bit quicker. You saw the teammate in trouble, set a screen just like that to free up some space.
Here's Jamshidi. Rasul, Mo Zafari, and he is fouled this time by Lionel Paulo. This game has going down to the wire written all over it.
And neither team able to create too much separation. And Paulo, definition of a good role play off the bench, come in, give you some defensive intensity.
Moreira, meanwhile, goes out. He was getting, feels like he's getting a raw deal with the calls. So probably not a bad idea that he actually goes and sits down for a while, because you got to block that stuff out. And Rasul Mozafari goes to the line and makes the first one. The Iranian fans here trying to bring their team to what would be its first victory of this FIBA Basketball World Cup.
They've only managed 2 wins in their first 2 World Cups. I tell you what, the guy who needs to step up for Angola is Valdelicio Joaquim, number 32. He came in as their 3rd leading scorer, almost 11 points per game. Just 1 of 5 so far here with 2 points.
Gonçalves gets down in the paint, and you're right, he heard you. Joaquim.
He heard me, Jeff. That's what I'm talking about, Joaquim. You have to go at Haddadi as well, who has the 3 fouls, can't play as aggressive on defense.
Yakchali, oh,
got slapped in the face.
Right in the face, indeed. I mean, he got smacked. That was almost, I don't know that it was intentional, but it was like a punch. And Angola going over to check on him because they know he got popped.
Interesting call here because the referees are saying Iran ball, but no Angolan player.
Woo, it was Moore that got him. And Moore, gosh. You saw Moore wince because he knew. Here's Joaquim's basket. Well, he might have a bruise on his face after that.
So shot clock at 5. And they don't recognize it.
Turns it over.
And again, Iran really needs to start taking care of the ball. They do have a 2-point lead, despite already having 15 turnovers. Angola just with 6.
Well, Gershon Domingos not available today, looking on from the bench, unfortunately for Angola. Important part of what they like to do.
Yeah, came in averaging 5 points per game, didn't even participate in warm-ups. So injury or illness is Joaquim.
Oh boy, he's starting to come to life at the right time.
Yeah, big time shot there to put Angola back up 1. He was 2 of 4 from 3 coming into this one, so he could definitely knock it down.
Gonçalves really
great defense.
Absolutely. Oh, and the block is called on Moore. And probably that's richly deserved when you consider he got away with the inadvertent punch to the face.
Good point. You'll see here, moves his feet. If anything, you would think a no call. Also slammed his head on the floor. Meanwhile, the assist to Joaquim for the 3. Emotion. So Angola, 5th foul. Meanwhile, Iran yet to commit a foul in this quarter. So the bonus the rest of the way for Iran.
Well, Rustampour makes the first to tie it up again. Came into this game averaging almost 14 minutes per game, 4.3 points per game. Second one no good, so couldn't be any tighter with 11 minutes pretty much to go in the contest.
Nice backdoor cut.
Oh, and good reach by Samad to knock it out of bounds. Well, we know what the back door is. What's the front door?
That's a great point.
And also, is there a porch door? Here's Moore. Oh, didn't get the shooter's bounce. Mashayeki back in the game since his kind of eventful first appearance in the first half. Yakchali. Samar for 3. Wow.
We saw him knocking down shot after shot during warm-ups. Looked pure on that one. And they needed that now in double figures. Somehow the first Iranian player.
That's his 3rd 3 of the game. He had 2 in the first half. And Sabes back outside to Moore. Conceição was out of bounds.
So 12 seconds left here in the third quarter. Chance for Iran to extend this to a 2-possession game.
And Angola will probably know they've got to keep the pressure on here because now Nigeria is starting to pull away from Cote d'Ivoire up by 14 points. That was him out of bounds. Remember, Angola really in a tight battle with Nigeria and Tunisia for that direct Olympic qualifying spot. They need wins.
Uh-oh.
Good play by Paolo. Up ahead, will they have enough time? Oh, look at Rostapor get on the ground. Hamed couldn't quite control it in time to put it up, but it doesn't matter. Great hustle from Rostapor. That is the type of effort they're going to need in a game like this.
Yeah, wasted opportunity there.
Well, what about these numbers, Josh Davis?
Well, once again, they've been very even. 48-45 after 3 here. Iran with the lead thanks to getting to the free throw line a bit more. Also, the three-point shot knocked down there by Samad. Overall, though, Iran now shooting 50% from the field. So the third quarter, much more efficient for them as we check out the highlights of the last 10 minutes. But again, it's going to come down to taking care of the ball and the turnovers. They still are winning the rebounding battle, +8 on the boards. But what an electrifying 10 minutes we are sure to have here the rest of the way. Angola would need guys like Moraes to continue to step up. He leads all scorers with 13. Jose Antonio knocking down the 3, and here you saw the Paolo breakaway jam. Just an easy flush.
Well, Hamed started to heat up a little bit. He could still have a big fourth quarter, but overall a pretty good defensive effort, really, from Angola.
Yeah, they were able to limit Iran to just 9 points in that second quarter. Gave up 20 in the third. Dangerous pass here.
And Mashieki is going to be called for a trip from behind.
So they don't get called for a single foul in the third quarter. Now called for a foul before the clock even starts in the fourth.
A little bit unlucky there, but I mean, I think maybe might have nudged him just a little bit. He's looking at the bench like, what did I do? What did I do? It was kind of a mixture of just light contact, and I think it was Conceição who fell over.
Yeah, if I'm Angola here.
But no time has run off the clock.
Exactly. I might look to set a back screen on Mozafari. Get him going towards the basket. Or not. Good hands.
Good play by Mozafari, knocking it out of bounds. 10 on the shot clock. Conceição to Moraes. Moraes gets at the line, puts it up. Rostapor with the board. Remember, he had that dive on the floor to prevent Iran from getting what might have been an easy layup right at the end of the third quarter.
You got to throw that up to Haddadi. Tough for the big man to catch it off the bounce, but it did go out of bounds on Angola. Still 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Take another look here. Trying to wrap it around, but Joachim need it.
Great camera work there. Look at that. Saw the shout from Hamed. Correa comes back in for Moore. Now Samad gives it to Hamed. He's going to go to work. Turns, steps back. I suppose that's a minor victory, or a major victory rather, for Angola to get him to take that shot in that fashion here. Conceição gets tied up, and now it's going to be a fast break opportunity. And driving in and earning the trip to the line will be Michael Rostampor.
That's the 4th foul as well on Yannick Moreira. So adding a little bit of insult to injury. You see there, first a turnover, initially some good offense, but then Rostampor just takes it away from Conceição. Now at the free throw line, a chance for 2.
First one goes in. So, haven't seen Mirza at all for Iran. He was quite important in the qualifiers. Second one is good as well. 5-point lead.
So they're going to take Moreira out with those 4 fouls, bring Reggie Moore back into the game. Moreira just 4 points. Does have those 7 rebounds, but the 4 fouls as an offensive foul here in the backcourt. And then you've seen Mozafari's pressure. It's really impacted Angola here the last couple of minutes or so.
He's been far more effective here in the second half, and you saw Conceição kind of raise his left arm. And he caught Rasul Mozafari. Rasul Mozafari using a take no prisoners approach. So they're going to look at the referees, so we're going to be quiet as they look at the unsportsmanlike to see if it was unsportsmanlike.
Do you want to check for possible C2? We are looking for this one. Do we have bigger angle from main, like one?
This one?
Where is the main camera?
This is the main camera.
This is main? Yes. Okay, where they are coming from?
This one?
That's the main, yeah. Can you play this with the speed of normal speed?
Yes. Main camera.
Scott, it's not clear for me. What do you think? This is the contact that he is creating with elbow, but directly to the face or just protecting. What do you think? Now it is going to
That's high.
like high.
Yeah. For me that it's high enough.
I agree with you on the face. You show now we have unsportsmanlike C2 for white 37, and he is the shooter. Yeah, let's go. We have C2.
Wow.
Well, Josh, we looked at it, and I have to say, at first, I think both you and I thought that it was not. And then the more that you looked at it, you saw his his forearm kind of go up and catch him in the face.
Yeah, as soon as the elbow extends to somewhat of an unnatural position anywhere near the opponent's face, it's going to give them consideration. And Mosafari unable to convert the first free throw. The Conceição does pick up the unsportsmanlike foul.
And you're only allowed one of those. If you get another one, you have to be ejected.
So it's a turnover as well as a point for Iran now. And the lead is now 6. Chance to add to it.
Huge possession here for Iran as they try to build their lead in this vital game. And Rostampour couldn't quite catch it. Hamed also not able to corral it, so the damage was minimized. Only one free throw in the end.
And I'll tell you what, Reggie Moore has made a few plays here, just causing that deflection. You know, he's only got 3 points, hit that one three-pointer. The 38-year-old veteran making his contribution.
But not a grizzled veteran, would you say? Always wondered why we said grizzled. Here he is, more short this time.
And that grizzled looks like a grizzly, though.
Well, it does look kind of Grizzly Adams-like with the beard. I'll say that as a compliment.
There are some phenomenal beards in this game. I just can't get over it.
Yes. Very pursuit.
Can't
Now
leave him open like that.
He hits another three. It's his 4th of the game.
Well, he's the one guy in this game who's knocked down the outside shot. And you see nobody going out to contest. And all of a sudden, it's a 9-point game, largest lead of the night for either team.
Joaquim didn't catch it, so Angola has to reset. And thankfully for them, they've got a player that can
that
get in
was
the lane and elevate.
A move by Moraes. Again, the crossover. He rocks him to sleep and then able to finish around Haddadi. Not an easy layup there. Watch it again here. Tween, cross. Goes right at the big man.
Yeah.
Scoops it off the glass.
It's a
15 points.
That's why the Raptors were looking at him after his AfroBasket MVP award several years ago. Will Voigt.
Yeah, did have a cup of coffee for the Toronto Raptors, didn't he?
And a Danish. Here we go. Now Hamed.
That's a foul.
And wow.
Now, Hamed wants the unsportsmanlike. Feel like he didn't really make a play on the ball. Bardelicio kind of caught in no man's land. You see him here. Tap, tap. That's up for debate, honestly.
Hamed had no points at halftime, right? He's got 10 now. He had 1 point at halftime, so 9 in the third quarter. High arcing shot, short. But certainly you have to give the ball back to Moraes, don't you? Get him a touch. Here he is. Just scored with his penetration. Now he gives it to Joaquim, and then he steps right in.
He had the three.
Yeah.
Knocked down one just a few moments ago.
Beautiful. Oh, and he just didn't finish.
Yeah, left it a little bit short.
Rasul. Farahi. A real pest on defense. There's Moraes. Oh, he gets swatted by Hamed. Samad takes the hit from Jose Antonio and earns a trip to the line.
Samed's been the player of the night so far for Iran. Able to push the tempo after the beautiful block here from Haddadi. Great help side defense. Doesn't hurt to have the 7'5" wingspan. Little man from Iran loving it. Basketball just able to put such a smile on these kids' faces. Although if Iran loses, I'm sure he won't be smiling too.
Well, Samad makes the first. Remember, you go back to that 2007 team at the FIBA Asia Cup. He and his late brother, who was the captain of the team at the time before he died tragically. It was a car crash. Wasn't able to play at the Olympics, unfortunately. And also Hamed. So many great players. But I'll tell you what, with Samad and Hamed Haddadi, those guys probably stand at the very top of Iranian basketball. They've been sensational. Can they get to another Olympics? That's the big question. Can they get a win today? Joaquim, good.
They needed that one. Joaquim needs to be aggressive. Obviously, Moreira back in the game as well.
Samad. Oh, let's it fly. He's on fire, folks.
Wow, well, the 36-year-old vet.
All 18 points coming from three-point range for Samad. Jose Antonio nails it.
The answer from Angola, huge, and the offense really picking up here in the fourth quarter.
And remember, Iran had what might have been viewed as a pretty good lead against Puerto Rico late in their encounter and weren't able to hold on to it. Angola will not be given up. Here's Hamed, and he earns a trip to the line, and that is number 5 on Yannick Moreira, who goes to the bench.
So frustrating night for him.
Reggie Moore back into the game.
So Haddadi will head to the free throw line with a chance to go into double figures now. But what can we say about Samad, number 14? 18 points, 5 made three-pointers. As Hamed missing the first free throw.
So you miss the free throws, you leave the door open, don't you? Second one from Hamed is good, and he now has 9. Oh, he has more than that.
So Angola bringing Bunga back into the game. Played just a few minutes, 3 minutes in that first half. Haven't seen him since.
Yeah, Hamed now has 9 points. I was wrong earlier. He had 7 third quarter points. Moraes going right up against Rostanpour. Goes to his left. And then he was pushed by Rostanpour. It's only the second team foul in Iran. Not a bad foul.
Yeah, Iran doing a really good job of not committing any fouls. Just, well, that's now 10 on the game compared to 20 for Angola. Under 5 minutes to go. It's officially clutch time for both of these teams.
Paolo. Moore. Good!
There he is. Give me more of Reggie Moore. Second three-pointer of the night for the big man. You see him and Rostanpour having a little friendly discussion.
Samad. Nice his way into the lane. And
they call it off Haddadi.
Yep.
Despite 2 Angolan bodies being under the basket.
well, they've hit some huge shots. Moore hit that one. Jose Antonio hit one from the right corner.
Take another look here.
And this is where Samad's probably thinking, I should have made that, even though Bunga was in front of him. What'd you think?
Well, I don't understand why Moraes is out of the game. That's what I think. Obviously, maybe a quick breather. They might call a timeout here in just a few moments to extend that break, but they definitely need a couple of buckets while he's out. Pick and pop.
Bunga, good. Well, they're all hitting now for Angola. It's back to a three-point game.
And Bunga, who had yet to score in the tournament, what a time to get your first points. Cutting the lead to 3.
Benamiak Chali back into the game. Also Garamopour, number 23, back in, giving Hamed a rest. Here's Garamopour, beautiful pass! And Yakshali scores for Iran.
Yeah, great answer there. Yakshali moving so well without the ball. Gets lost behind the defense. And even a better pass by Garamopour.
Leonel Paulo goes strong, but Garamopour was there to block him. Now Samad in the open floor. Oh, beautiful pass to Garamopour. Boy, I tell you, Rasul is pulling the strings, isn't he? Takes the lead back to 7.
Well, that's why if you're the trailer, you run hard. They teach big men to run straight to the rim. That's what he did. Teammate found him for the easy 2. So there was that timeout I was mentioning that they needed to call.
Well, we have the luxury of being able to go down to the huddle, so let's listen in to Coach Will Voigt.
Hey, contre homem e contre zone. Igual. Okay, queso. Wait for that screen, okay? You have to come this side. It's just about getting open. So sometimes you just pop out and get it. Into the ball screen. Now seal. If it's zone, Vander, you'll be right there on a seal. Okay? So that high low, if you're on the 3, you got it. Continue on attacker. Continue on attacker. Come on.
As you see the highlights from Samad, who's been on fire, as Jeff mentioned, 5 of 6 from the great beyond. And that move was just ridiculous. A couple of dribbles between the legs before he executes a step back.
He just looks like a player that was, when he was born, his parents just said, here, have a basketball. And he's been playing ever since. Those are his numbers, 18 points, the 3 rebounds, 2 assists. And you can put the adjective big hyphen time in front of the 18 points. Now here's Leonel Paulo, and they pass it to Moore, but he fumbles it away. Now Samad, Garamopour quickly to Rostampour, and Leonel Paulo commits the foul to put Rostampour on the line.
I'll tell you what, these Iranian big men just so skilled and versatile. As you see again the pass here from Garamopour, quick thinking, didn't even have to hesitate, just knew he wanted to get it down to Rostampour.
And they're not worried about the clock right now, are they? I mean, they're making the passes, they're going for the shot. At what point do you see them starting to work the clock a little bit? And Rostampour gets the first one to fall.
Yeah, well, he gets the bounce. You know, under 2 minutes, obviously, they're going to get the ball back here around the 2-minute mark, maybe a little bit more than that. You'd hope probably 4 or 5 more possessions for them. You want to use at least 10 seconds per possession, maybe even a bit more.
Makes 1 of 2.
And for Angola, you got to push the tempo.
Conceição back out to Moraes. And then a foul. The other interesting thing is, Josh, I don't know what you think about this, but maybe Iran want to get as big a win as possible in terms of points differential and a potential showdown with one of their other competitors for the Asian qualifying spot for the Olympics.
Yeah, no question. Every single point matters down the stretch of the tournament.
So they're not going to work the clock. They'll just try to get a big win. Conceição gets in the lane. Now Rostampour has it in a push. Called on Joachim. And boy, you can't say enough positive things about Rasul Mozafari. Excuse me. Mozafari. There you go. How about that?
Well, they are tricky sometimes, these names, but you saw the good drive here from Conceição. Takes off. His momentum taking him a little bit to the left, unable to finish right at the rim, and then they call the push foul on Joachim, his 4th, and that also sends Iran to the free throw line.
So Rasul Mozaffari playing his role off the bench.
And his role is he hasn't taken a single shot, does have 2 assists, no steals, no blocks. But when you see him play, you know that his defensive intensity is the reason he's out there, especially on a guy like Moraes, who's so aggressive offensively. Well, you see there the beautiful ball movement that led to the last Garenpour layup. Maybe got away with an extra step. Not sure, but either way, 2 points on the board for Iran and Garenpour.
The tongue celebration.
Made famous by
MJ.
some guy.
They do it in all sports, but there's Aaron Garenpour's numbers. Not a bad day at the office for him. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists.
Garenpour, born in the UK. Stockport.
All right. Rasul makes both. And boy, this is looking pretty good for Iran right now. Again, it could be that they're going to try to push that lead as much as possible as they try to improve their points difference. Now the ball stolen, knocked away. Nigeria have already won. So Nigeria in pole position right now. Of course, Tunisia play later. They already have a win, but Nigeria have 2 wins and Angola have 1 win. They were looking for their second win today, but they might not get it. Samad short.
And you talked about Samad being one of the leaders of this Iran squad. Such a competitor. Played in so many big games for the national team. Yet another one here today.
And Joachim goes in, and if he'd made that, he would have had a 3-point play opportunity, but he now gets 2 free throws.
So Garenpour picks up 2 fouls in a matter of seconds. You saw a guy caught behind Joachim there, who could have gone a little bit quicker.
They're not out of the woods yet, Iran. Angola, they can force some turnovers. And again, remember, Iran not able to put Puerto Rico away in their first game. Lost that one in overtime.
Puerto Rico just made clutch basket after clutch basket.
Oh boy, the second one no good, big miss. Now Yakchali. Also Sal guarding him. Samad fakes the handoff. He's going to go in. He's going to get the shot. And he will go to the line for an and 1.
Wow, what a time to hit your first 2-point field goal of the night. Samad, who's such a smart player, obviously understands that the defense is looking at him as a 3-point threat. This time turns the corner, gets into the lane, draws the contact, and finishes with the touch. Much to the delight of the Iranian fans. Completes a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Now 21 points. Tournament high for Samad Kabarami.
Samad Nikabahrami.
Easy. Light work. Timeout on the floor, though. Angola down 12, just over a minute left. What does Coach Voy have to say?
This screen here. This screen, you come up, bloqueo directa aquí, Reg. Okay? Now, here's your cut to the middle. Here, Vander, seal this inside guy. Carlos, you're gonna have to curl up. Normally it's corner. You came here. Yes, that's you. Okay? What? So you're coming all the way through there. Now, after you get that, Vander steps to the corner from here. Okay, everybody? Yeah, Zete's the one getting this. Okay? So Zete coming in, pick and roll. He's looping here. Zete hits Carlos, Vander to the corner. You're shooting three, you're shooting a three. Got it? You're just straight, yeah, it's gonna be opposite side. Got it? Right? So it's a three from one end. All right, here we go.
Josh, it doesn't look good for Angola. They're facing their biggest deficit of the game right now. 12 points and only 1:17 remaining.
Yeah, they're obviously drawing up a play to get a quick three. Then they'll have to get a number of stops, probably commit a few fouls as well. But Iran really turning it up here in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, already with 22 points here in the final stanza. And Iran going to a zone as Moraes goes crashing to the floor. Jose Antonio, the runner,
and banks it in. He's had a little bit of pizzazz to his game today.
See Moraes asking to come out of the game.
Oh, they left Rasul wide open. Now passes it back out to Samad.
Just getting back into the play now is Carlos Moraes. Electing not to foul.
Chali, good defense from Jose Antonio, but
look who's there.
Samad puts it up from deep, and
they had the shot clock reset, didn't need the quick shot. And now Moraes looks okay.
Moraes.
Too much time. Good defense again from your boy Mo Safari.
And they're gonna count it. So he's got a chance for a three-point play.
You can see they're fighting through the pain. Frustrated. 8-point game now, 26.6. Yeah, that was a beautiful finish, though, from Moraes. Another missed free throw.
Well, Angola have had their chances today. Yeah, you have to say that Iran have really done themselves proud today, because well, that foul puts Garamapur on the line. Look at this.
They got the inside position on Joachim, who went for the quick foul after.
I mean, Iran have done a good job of saying, okay, Joachim fouled out.
Indeed, 10 points, just a couple of rebounds for the big man.
But Iran disappointed. It's 0-3 for them. They go to the classifications, but they still know they've got a chance to get that top spot for the Asian teams and to get to the Olympics. And that is what they are closer to doing now, having gotten this first win. They'll be keeping a close eye on events with China, obviously. Probably their main competitor for that spot. And Garamapur knocks it ahead to Gonçalves, who misses the three. And now Rostanpour, nice little shifty move, bounce pass. And Rasul misses. Strap away, Yakchali. Rasul, did he step out of bounds? Yes, he did. Well, disappointment for Angola. They were going for their second win in a row in the tournament. And again, they had their chances. Gonçalves is not even going to attempt a shot. Well, nobody said World Cup games were easy, and they don't get any easier when you get to the classification round. That was clearly the case today, but Iran showed a little bit more quality in the second half, and especially in the fourth quarter. They win it 71-62 over Angola.
Iran picking the right time to play their most complete 40-minute game so far. We've seen them play very well in stretches. We've seen them have leads against great teams like Spain and Puerto Rico. Today it's finally the fourth quarter where they execute, putting up 43 points in the second half after managing just 28 in the first 20 minutes. And they shoot 48% from the field overall. Meanwhile, Angola struggled at just 43% shooting, only managed to get to the free throw line 10 times and only making 5 of those 10 free throws. Meanwhile, Iran, 19 made free throws, so plus 14 advantage there. 5 3-pointers from Samed, obviously leading the way as well, as he was their player of the game and likely TCL player of the game / MVP. With 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists.
So yeah, the overall numbers for Iran, 52% inside the arc, 40 beyond it. Obviously, all of that is basically Samad.
Yeah, he was on fire. And you see also the rebounding numbers. Angola only managing 28 total rebounds. And we talked about at halftime, Iran needed to cut back the turnovers. Only had 7 in the second half. A much better job there. You see Moraes leading the 3 double-digit scores for Angola. And, of course, Nick Kababarami, 21 points. Pretty much did it all.
Who, Samad? Samad Nick Kababarami? Yep. And he's the player of the game, without question. Here he is, spotting up for one of those threes.
Did it on both sides of the arc. Also had a couple key steals. And now Iran will come back in a couple of days to face off against the Philippines, but not after the Philippines face off against Tunisia first here tonight.
And remember, it was the Philippines that they beat in a crucial game in Manila that they needed to win in the Asian qualifiers. They had their backs to the wall, and they did without Samad, without Hamed. So once again, a game against the Philippines is going to be a crucial one for Poland. Excuse me, for Iran. I was also keeping an eye on events with Poland right now, beating Russia. A lot of action underway right now. Poland beating Russia, Serbia are on top of Puerto Rico, and Nigeria obviously have already won their game, their early game today. So I suppose all in all, when you consider that if Iran can get out of here, if they're able to get an Olympic berth, they would view it as a successful World Cup.
Definitely, and obviously you could have done that automatically by qualifying for the second round in this particular tournament. But if you can do it at this point, that's why they're out here to play. The Olympics, only 12 teams qualify, so if you can get one of those spots by the end of this World Cup, you're in good shape. If not, then it's back to the Olympic qualifying tournaments.
So these are the classification games. Both of these teams will have one more game to go. Angola will play against Tunisia on September 8th, and that could still be a very important game for them, depending on other results. Obviously, Tunisia going for their second win tonight. Nothing decided today.
There you see the happy faces from the Iranian players and the fans as well. Meanwhile, Angola will have to bounce back on Sunday.
You know, Angola were so good for so long. It's, you know, it seems like they have the personnel to do it. They just haven't found that winning formula yet. And, you know, they've got a great coach at the helm right now. They just got to keep working, and I'm sure things are going to turn for them if they stay the road. So, Iran up at the top with 5 points now. Angola, also, they already had the win, remember, so they've got 5 points. Tunisia and the Philippines down in 3rd and 4th, but they will each at least get a participation point. One of those teams will get 2 points for the win as well. They play tonight at 8 o'clock. Josh, I have to say, I mean, this has been a real thrill today for me, working with you. It's just such an honor every day. You're so inspirational. Thank you very much.
Well, let's see if Tunisia can play inspired basketball here tonight to climb up to the top of Group N.
You're supposed to say the same about.
Oh, sorry, Jeff.
No,
of course,
that's
it's been an absolute. I mean, you're the legend of legends. So, from all of us here at FIBA, thank you for watching, and we'll see you a little bit later tonight.